In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today.
Hello viewers, and welcome to the Real Talk Show with Aunty Jenny. My name is Aunty Jenny. I think most of you might already know. And welcome to this most interesting talk show where we're going to be talking about real life issues. And we're going to mix our language because we are Zimbabweans, and my audience can actually concur with me, isn't it? We speak as Zimbabwean and Ndebele. I'm not fluent in Ndebele, so so this is the Real Talk Show, and we are live right here on Zimbo Live TV. Saka tianga chikurukura nezvakati one day zvinoenderana neupenyu hwedu, like zviri kuitika mukati meupenyu mudzimba relationships, and ndinenge ndine panel yangu ndinenge ndinayo ichange ichibuyawo ichitaura iso opinion, and the audience get a chance to also share their views and can give advice on the issues that we have. So once again, welcome audience. I hope the team, Zimbo Live TV, have taken good care of you. They're a perfect team, isn't it? Great people, great girls, and great guys. And I'm really, really excited because this is the pilot show. So today, we are going to be talking about marriage and cohabitation. I know most mothers are now cursing right now for the cohabitation. But sometimes we have to accept these days after a few years, 18 years, when they turn 18, oh mama, I'm moving out. And you know, it's like horror. It's something that parents don't expect. Because you expect them to go to uni after that, they go to maybe a master's degree and maybe a PhD before they get married and stuff. But these days things have changed, and I'm not saying we should like accept it, but at least we can tolerate it, because this is the things that are happening in real life, and these are the things that I receive every day. Okay, Aunty Jenny, look here. And for all the guys out there, let me tell you this, there's a new saying out there. Anzi kana urikugara nemwana wevanu usina kuroora kana kubvisa mari, uri Boko Haram. Saka uri Boko Haram here wewe. Tira kuti tizive kuti zviri kufamba sei. Right, later on muchaona pa screen muchipiwa number dzekuti muite phone in, because this is a live talk show and I can actually talk to you. Mukandifonera, I'll talk to you, and then munenge muchinzwa live on air. So you get a chance to air your views and say how you feel about all these things. I have a letter that I have. It's a very sensitive letter. It's a girl who's asking for like advice about what she can do because she got married just a few months ago. Asinya ichona yakati wome. Asi ndichasira audience yangu. Ichandibasira nditi. Mchandibasira nditi. Like, because this is like a big deal. This is a big deal. So I'll have the audience decide what to do in this situation, because I'm going to read the story so that everybody understands. Right, and I'll try to translate to those who don't understand Shona, because I know in Zimbabwe we have so many languages. Not everyone is fluent in Shona, right? Right. Anzi makadi tete musaburitse zita. Ndiri mukadzi ane 30 years andina mwana ndakarorwa mwedzi mishani yapfuura. Hatina kumbobvira takaita zveromance pamakore atadanana zvekuti taive tabvumirana kuti musi wemuchato, you know, like they were doing the real thing, no sex before marriage, you know, which is a good thing. Zvapera zvemuchato takaenda kuhanimuni tavako ndipo pakatanga dambudziko. Murume akanga asade kuti tirare tese. Ini semunhu ainge ari sexually active kare ndaiziva kuti zvinofamba sei, asi murume aingoti mira apo asingade kubatwa nyangwe pai zvapo. So I'm just going to translate this. This guy, they got married and they went to the honeymoon, but he didn't want any physical, like, you know, honeymoon. We all know what honeymoon means. I know people joke about it. Honeymoon, you know, honeymoon, you know, things like that. So he didn't want any attachment to this, to the guy. He didn't want the lady to hold the, you know, kiss, you know, foreplay and stuff. So takadzakara kumba pasina zvataita nyangwe kuona miviri wake chaiwo andina kuona, kumba takangosvika kugara no sex. Taingorara sa brother and sister. Ndinogara ndichichema kuti marriage yerudzi yakadai. Nezuro ndichibva kubasa. Anze achibva kubasa ndakamuudza kuti tava nenguva taroorana, asi sei usingadi kurara neni? Akanditi uri kushaya pano. Mota yakanaka, imba, food, mbatya zvese ndinokupa. Saka kurara newe ndiko kwashota chete here. Akanditi life yepamusoro yaunoenjoya iyoyo ndiko kwakaenda nengo yacho. It's like ndiko, like that's what happened. He couldn't have coitus with this girl, this woman, that's the wife now. He couldn't have sex with the wife that he married, and he explained what else did she want, because she had everything. She had the money, the food, the clothes, and everything. So what else did she want? Yeah. So he says, he goes on to say, ndakaona zviri nani kuchekeresa ningo yangu pane kuuraya munhu. And then akandivhurira ndikaona aine nhengo inenge mwana achangozvarwa yekuitisa weti chete. Veduwe ndanga ndatove tsikombe kuroorwa kwangu kwanga kwakutonetsa, saka ndoita sei veduwe? Ndingasiye imba here ndoita sei ndibatsirwe nedambudziko rangu? Mapaona here? Like, do you get this problem? These people got married and they're supposed to be husband and wife, and there's this natural thing that everybody expects from a wife or from a husband when you get married, isn't it? After honeymoon, you know, the next thing, everybody will be expecting a baby within the next year or so. So nothing is happening. The girl tries to find out what's happening, what's wrong with you. And then she finds out that he used his sexual organs for voodoo. They don't exist, they're not there. The only thing that's there is like a baby organ, something that he can actually use to go to the toilet. So how would you do, I mean, if it were you, how would you react to this situation? What do you think about this? Would you stay and enjoy the luxurious wife? Because it's obvious she lives a very good life. She's got a very nice car. She's got everything in the house, fashion, everything, all the bling that every woman loves, everything that a woman wants, except the one thing that people get married for. It's non-existent. How would you advise that woman? So to all those who are compounded, I want you to call in and tell me what you think and how you can help this lady, because I already distressed the mono. How can you deal with that? Because this was like a big shocker when I got this. I was like, oh my God, what did this person do? Like, I've had situations whereby a guy doesn't want to sleep with the wife during honeymoon or any other time because he's worried about the size and everything. And then that's like normal, isn't it? I think women have that issue too, isn't it? Like, how do I look? Do I look okay? You know, things like that. But when it comes to like somebody using their sexual organs for voodoo, please, that's like something else. So I have comments from other people that were trying to help. Somebody went straight on and said, these sound too fictitious. All the makings of a Nollywood movie, no pun intended to the Nigerian people, they're just talking. I mean, we admire your movies, but that's what he's saying. I never thought such things ever happened here in Zimbabwe. Anyway, if it's a true story, the choice is simple. Which would you rather have, poverty with happiness, or a normal sex life, or wealth and opulence with no sex, plus a man who's morally dubious? Zvemshonga izvi zvinogona kufuma zvakangoenda kwazvakabva kana kuti zvinozongoti takuda ropa remunhu ukachekereskwa. Yeah? What do you think? I think this is something that she needs to address with because it's obvious they are religious people, they got married. I think she should talk with the religious people, like pastors. That is if she's Christian. They go to their pastors. If she's Jewish, they go to the rabbis. And if she's Muslim, they go to the sheikhs, you know, the bigger people up the ranks, people who can help you religiously in this matter. Because if it were me, I would go back home. I don't know, what would you?
I would.
You would go back home as well, isn't it? I would go straight back home because there is nothing that I can do because there are so many things. I would start thinking of my parents. My parents, obviously, they expect grandchildren. They expect me to live a happy life. And it's obvious when people get married, you expect them to be happy, isn't it? I know that sex is not everything, but it's part of the happiness in a marriage, isn't it? Yes, so I think I would just count my losses and leave. But I don't know what you think, and I don't know what you people at home think. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think about this. This is the Muno so say, and obviously, Muno akaterera arikutoziva kuti zvakati guys. Right now, she's probably watching right now, and she wants to hear from you. Kuti, what's really, I mean, what's the public think about it? Obviously, she's seeing the comments right now that are being posted on Facebook. Oh, I don't know, somebody wrote, can you believe this? Somebody wrote in, I think it's Arabic. How am I going to read that? Oh my God. Oh my God, I need a translator for this one. But yeah, oh, someone said, Ndoma wanichayo kana mnamatao, aushende pakadai, torambana kana, kurambana kurinani kana, ndisingazive kuti anobvuma here iwe wakuziva secret yake. That's another big point. Because sometimes when people do dubious things like this and they are involved in voodoo and stuff, and you know what's happening to them and what's happening in their lives, many people would want you to keep that a secret. I think it would be a very big risk her leaving. Don't you think so? I think it will be. This person has a valid point. Right. This is not the only letter that I got today. I actually got someone who told me that, you know what, I'm really happy you're starting this show and you're gonna be talking about real life situations and real life stories. And I think we should use that platform to talk about the situations that we're facing as young couples marrying in the UK. I don't know if you've seen things that have gone viral on Facebook and WhatsApp. There were girls and women, I think some of them married. And there was a lady who was nicknamed Big Mama. She was dancing to Gatsby Warriors' Seunononga. I mean, it's a lovely song. I love that song. I think you love that song, don't you? You love that song, isn't it? You've heard the song? Yeah. But I'll tell you, I'll never look at that song the same way again. Because she killed it for me, especially that lady, was it from Dustable? The way people took it, I don't know where we are getting this from as Zimbabweans, because culturally you expect a woman's undergarments. But ndakona ma WhatsApp mazhinji vanhu vechirume ndo vaitotora like very like close up, you know, and it went viral. I don't know, I feel for the woman that was there, but also we need to be very careful when you're going out there and doing stuff like that. If you know you're going to get jiggy with it when you're out there, dress properly. I'd rather you have tights inside your dress, or even what do you pulling socks. They are pulling socks and then they are tights, my leggings. You have something like that, or even like something, my hot pants, something that's like nice and short inside, that can actually help you. People won't see much about Africa, yes, or no something decent. So that's the other issue that we're going to talk about, Nasi. And also we need to talk about like go straight to the point and hit the nail on the head and talk about marriages in the UK, because I know right now we've gone past the phase here with how much did you pay me? And how like Taura Mariako, I can give you Mariako right now, things like that, you know. How much was it? And then I remember seeing this clip from one of the videos there, can draw 20 pounds, something like that. That's all your money, you can draw. So you can actually go, you know, things like that. I think we've gone past that phase, because most people who are now getting married are more like our children now. My late 90s, early 2000s, and these people have grown into women and men, and they are getting married. So most of them are having difficulties because of the clash of cultures. They were born Zimbabwean, and they are now being raised British. I don't want to think that Torachi British too much, because I know the British culture. I've lived with people who know the real British culture. I noticed the Royal Queen. I think I've seen most women who go to see the Queen, they cover their clothes. I remember I was working in an old people's home. Ndakafeka tank top, quite piece, and then bra rangu rakaoneka. And one of the ladies came and she fixed my dress. And she was like, "That's your underwear, love. It's not supposed to be seen outside. It's an undergarment. It should be under." So that's the British culture that I know. So if somebody says that's British, that's totally wrong. I don't know. It may be TV, it could be music and Izive, but we are just taking our lives too much into the Hollywood scene, too much Hollywood, and so that's something that we need to look at. So if you're going to call Muchisa opinion yenyu, this is what I want to hear from you. Kuti munofungeni nyaya idzodzo. Toita sei marriages ari kungoparara, because vanhu vari munomu vanororana fine, mamoita muchato nechikisa yekuti vanhu vanouya panenge pane limousines and everything, doves, beautiful weddings, very very nice thing. Next thing, after a kid or even before a kid, just a few months down the line, whenever kunetsan, yeah, and respect, yeah, and did I so, yeah, around in Manik Zakati, yeah, around did I so, yeah, around in big, you know, like most men when they grow up, they look up to their father, and I know most Zimbabwean men and girls ones, a virtuous woman does this, a virtuous woman does that, and then they see a modernized girl, and Oziagu some chicken from a microwave. Because in Dona, like, if I get my chicken coma from Asda's or Tesco's, and they can go some microwave, chicken pizza, 3 minutes, dinner is ready. Or if I think today I don't feel like using my electricity, do it for a Chinese, or is it Domino's pizza, whatever. See? Dinner is ready. Like, I know we do have like takeaways Friday morning, that Dorika Friday man, like, Daddy, chikaf, you know, things like that. So these are some of the things that I've actually met people who are news. So I want to hear what other people think about that as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have my panel, and they will say what they think about the issue, and then we also want to hear what people from home think about it. So we'll be right back after this break.
In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one. The company that makes the quantum leaps. Innovating, not duplicating. Leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Aunty Jenny, and I have my two beautiful guests. This is Melanie and this is Priscilla. You can say hello to the viewers.
Hello, viewers. Hello.
Yes. Nyama inzo askana. Anzi murgus famsa say my marriage isum. Do you want to talk about the marriage part, or you want to talk about sisiva karorwa? Then murume wavo.
I think in Doti Tangina Sisi Kurorwa.
Okay.
Actually, not words of Goti brother, Wangari brother of church. Now, Budra Sis Pachen. Second, this which I mirror, Wangwa the says Chachirichi, because the stone was at its sheets and I can doctor Munasha later. As in Dupam Budra and Pachen. Canonis or Ninkokam Boito, Canonis or Taza, holds a moab. But Sivakas Nyara, and then now the sister is suffering.
Mati, your sister, we just suffer.
I suffer, sister.
Do you have the same opinion on that one?
Yeah, I think I've got the same opinion as
But they are going to do
I reckon this was okay, Aunty Jenny.
I'm not going to say vamwe vari kuzvanzoni unotodza kuti zai zviri kufamba sei imi rutonya zozva zviri kufamba sei pakaipa man I think pane vanoita contribute
I sympathize with the woman, but since she's in there, don't you think it's wise for them to put their heads together and see how they can overcome this problem, because she's already in there. Maybe that was destiny. This guy maybe was waiting for this woman to come into his life so that they can so that she can babysit him. No, I'm not babysit as such, but I was thinking that maybe two heads are better than one. Maybe this woman was going to come in and she's already in there.
Yeah.
Advise the men that look, I love you with all my heart, because I'm quite sure when they fell in love, it wasn't for the material possessions. I'm quite sure. So if this woman really loved this guy, maybe there's room for actually reversing whatever it is that was done, and for the room for this guy to see that life is not all about material possessions.
But according to this guy, what do you think? I think this guy is materialistic because he thought that's what women want. Because he even mentioned you have everything you want. What else do you want? And that's what happened. Ali, what do you think, Ali?
I think it's a problem because the whole relationship's not being built on trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's been deceived from the outset. So whether she can get over that is the question.
I believe me, girl, she can never get over that.
She will not. I think, like you said, it's very true. If a relationship
Because this is like,
built on
you
trust,
can lie about little things, but this is like the big thing. I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, when you distinguish the difference between someone's gender, that's the whole male part and the female part, if you know what I mean. So he lied that he was a man, isn't it? That's like misrep.
yeah.
That's misrepresentation, right?
I think as well, brother vari kuminimize nyaya kufunga kuti material things are everything to a woman, like you said. There's more to it. If we were to reverse the tables, toti dai vari sister vazowanikwa vasina zvakakodzera kudaro, brother vanga vachingozotiwo here ngatigarisane pamwe
Zvakadaro.
tine chizvokudya
That's
pano,
a
tine
very good
mota,
point.
tinoenda kudubai tichidzoka.
Chipinda mudege.
Saka that's what I would want the viewers as well to look into that point kuti vanzodza vataura zvakanaka kuti aiwa pane rudo apa, but deta it's the other way around. Handifungi kuti zvaibuda sezvazviri
Turning the tables.
no tinogara edu zvedu tichingoonana takadai.
So saka sisi ngavafambe.
Ini nahangu ndinonzwira tsitsisisa, handingavati hangu ngavafambe asi pakaoma. Denda ndirini ndiri musituation yavo, ndaifamba zvangu.
Kuenda.
Yeah,
Pane nyaya, because there is a very high risk of infidelity in nyaya dzakadai so. A very, very high risk. That's what people should consider in this situation, because she has everything, but what the mind wants and what the body wants is different. I think pane kamboka akele. Aranzichi, my body is, my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. So that is what people need to consider. Okay, when it comes to material things, the mind can say yes, but when it comes to the needs, you know, we got needs, you know. We got needs, people. We need. Yeah? We are not just women with the dress. No. We got needs. So that's one thing that people need to understand.
But I think pane nyaya yatambotaura yekuti munhu aziva secret yemunhu futi.
Right. And that's the point. Because I think I didn't,
She
you
has
know.
to be very careful.
I didn't respond to her letter muno uyu because ndanchida kuti nditange nanzwa view yevamwe vanoona sei, because inini ndikataura ndega kuti ita so and then this is a very sensitive issue, and I thought that I should have help from the Zimbabwean community, because this is our sister and that's our brother as well. We have to consider him in this situation.
Exactly.
But he's someone who's actually put himself, he signed like he sold to the devil, and he sold his soul to the devil. And a lot of people are doing this.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing this.
And,
So
and also, I also think it's actually a good letter in the sense that it's making people see the ugly side of wanting to get rich quick. These goblins or whatever it is that people are now after, those are quick rich schemes, like pyramids and stuff like that. They don't get you anyway. At the end of the day, you're going to get to a stage whereby you think that, oh, you're all set for life. But when something like this happens, it actually demonstrates that in order for you to make it in life, you really have to work hard. I think there's that moral story behind this story, as far as how people should live in the society that we are living. Because it is something that I wouldn't want my sister to be involved, with such a person like that, because we never know the end game. What is going to be the end result when it comes to, where is this going? How is it going to end? So there's that lesson behind this that we should take on board, that making money, it's about working hard for yourself.
you need to have hard-earned cash, not
Yes, we know that people can
quick
be
buck.
overnight,
Millionaires.
That is, if you win, the lotto. But this is not an overnight, millionaire thing, that one should go, for. So I feel sorry, for this woman. But at the end of the day, what we have to realize is the way we are living our lives, these days. We are actually going for something that is beyond our capabilities, which is not the right thing.
No, I think that's a very good point as well. Yeah, like there's a moral lesson in all that. Could never right now. Could you you might like lust for money. You might have lust for money, but it's not everything. There's more to life. Because you'd imagine most men, when they marry, they like to have offsprings and have like grandchildren. And I know mostly in the African tradition that men and then you see muno akati I thought if I kill someone it's bad, but he almost, it's like he's killed himself, innit?
Yeah,
He's killed the
sacrificed
man
himself.
inside him. So that's like a sad story. That's really sad. Like I'm beginning to feel sorry for the guy as well. But
He had a choice. Not that we know we're going to sacrifice him, because sometimes in life we make bad choices which we can pay for.
Yes.
But I personally think that he could have been honest with the sister, especially if they are Christians and they're going through the past and someone like that. You never know, like the brother said, maybe the sister could have understood. You never know, you know what I mean? But ish pakaoma.
Pane nyaya unotoza kuti zviri kufamba sei. Aiwa imi pane yangu munoziva zviri kufamba sei, but vari kutotoza zviri kutofamba sei. Right. So this is a sensitive issue, very very sensitive, because you know, if I look at the religious side, once you get married is for better or worse, till death do us part.
Yes.
Ipapo, as a Christian, how would you take it? Kana chikristu charamba ndakazombonzwa mwe madzibaba vaona nyaya yaitika zvikanzi apa ndo pandotaura kuti handausiya maoko kumasowe handisiye maoko pakrara, ndikati yakaipa nyaya yakaoma. Saka iyi matadza kusiya maoko kumasowe
Inonetsa. Inonetsa. I know it's for better or worse, but
pane nyaya apa.
pane nyaya.
Like these days, I think these days things that are happening, they don't sound real. They sound like fictitious, like taura nyora pakati. Nyaya yako is very fictitious. But that's the thing. That's why I'm going to my shows like Real Talk right now, because I work with people like this 24/7, and I get these stories all the time where people do say stuff that you don't think would be really real, but you read this, you can actually see what I was reading like from there, and it's like a story from an inbox. But unfortunately, I cannot reveal and the ideas even pa TV. But things like this are actually happening, and people are actually writing me in, looking for help. Because I'm sure this sister considered the sister side of the thing, like the Christian side, the religious side of marriage first before writing me. Maybe ndikaenda panenge paine vanhu andikambudzi kuzvarira pano vanhunzi nditandirwe imbwa ndikadza ndinokavhira ngo panechi tione kuti zvone zvingafamba sei, because iyi nyaya yakapengai. But inini hangu personally Jane, I would walk away. Isn't it? A marriage is like a contract. It has like a certain days, 90 days you'll be fine, you go. No, looks like a song. Just kidding, right? Pane my issue. But you need to talk about abuse kuitwa nevakadzi. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. You need to talk about abuse in relationships and marriages, and relationships or marriages, which means ana Boko Haram mumurimo. Tauze chero hashtag basaiti kana wakagara nimone vanhu usina kubvisa mari uri Boko Haram, bring back our girls. So, and as it goes, it seems men are the victims of domestic violence and abuse, and the law seems to favor the ladies. Why is this happening, especially to African couples? What's the cause of this? Like, hanzizoni muri kukonzera varume kuti vaite problem, vaite stress, because ukamataka iwewe ufonera police. Police ikauya inosukutanga kutora iyi. I mean, what do you think about this? Because many women are now abusing men more, taking advantage of the law, especially like if you live here in the UK, and I've noticed in Zimbabwe they've taken that stance as well against domestic violence. They're actually locking in the people, like the men. It's either for overnight or something like that until they make sure kuti chichakaensetika. Varume kuZimbabwe domestic violence they're trying their best kuti zvinhu zvifambe, but munomu it seems vakadzi vari kuabhusa varume that way.
Wow.
Semadzimai makambofonera nani tibvunzana baba ichokwadi here havafonerere 911 vanofona ka
aiwa but hanti Jedi zvinodependa one kuti chii chinenge chaitika munhu kuti afone munhu haangofone pasina nyaya. Kana varipo vakadzi vanofona havo kungotiwo kungofona because of the law, then yeah, but kazhinji pane chinenge chatoitika kuti uzobate foni uchifonera mapurisa pane zvaunenge watoitwa nababa ivavo.
Saka, you think kuti murume anenge aprovoka mukadzi to such an extent that the woman wants to report the guy to the police?
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, most of these cases, according to the statistics, the man can go within a few minutes. The woman is calling the police station like, "Bring him back. I'm dropping all the charges." What's happening? What's on?
I think,
what's up with that?
You know, I think it generally is violence is never the solution to anything we do.
That's true.
We are two adults who agreed to be together, so we should try and speak and talk.
Conversation.
And kuita maconversation ekuti kana ndikatoona kuti murume wangu atsamwa maybe kutobva ipapo omboenda kwaone ndozodzoka mumwe munhu adi akula down, because kurovana kana kurova munhu is not the solution to everything.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not. And then like you said, kune vanozoshandiswawo advantage yekuti ndikangofondera mapurisa munhu ane azotorwa. Saka inini shoko rangu riri kumadzimai kuti my emotions ngatite mashoma. Anditi ngatifunge about the consequences of our actions, whether tatadzirana kana kuti hatina kutadzirana, because munyika munomuka sure stress dziri kuitika. Kuna watu kuona kwanda vanozotadza kuita mabasa nekuti CRB yauya yakaita sirizvo. So it's never a solution kuti vanhu varwe kana kurovana kana kuti both sides, whether murume ari kurova mukadzi kana kuti mukadzi ari kudenda murume kuti azopedzisira adi arowa, solution hakusikurwa.
That's very true. Because if you look at my campaigns against domestic violence, I have a man akapinirwa down nachirova nemukadzi, you know, and he says he will never report this because he feels ashamed that he's being beat by a woman. You know, you need to report these cases because this is a letter from a man. And shamwari kana kurowa shamwari mangara mapurisa unofira mukati kana kurowa mangara kurowa zvina basa kurowa nani, because people tend to forget that they are women that are very, very hefty and butch. I mean, I'll give you an example. Yeah, athlete of South Africa, I won't say the name. There were concerns that did you see it in the last World Sports whatever, what was it, Olympics, that South African girl, and they say that she had too much testosterone, that she should not be allowed to to be on the same thing with the women. You see, she can't race with women, but then she can't race with women and she can't race with men as well because she's female. You see, but there are women like that, and I think it's something that people have never looked at and people have ignored over the years, because mostly this, I think, is a conspiracy theory against women. Men have always tried to think that they're stronger than us, but we're strong. We are strong. So that's the thing, that some women are really strong. I mean, I think every woman is a strong woman. I mean, if you can give birth, God. If that pain is put on a man, they would die.
No, they can't.
They would die. I showed my husband this video of two men who were put on these things, like, you know, those things that we wear when we go.
Oh yeah,
baby monitors and the etc. Did you see how they were screaming? And it wasn't even like 25% of the pain that a woman goes through, and they were crying like it was like a baby nursery in there crying, you know. So I think women are the strongest people on earth, and that has been overlooked over the years. So I think right now it's plus kwakaita Beijing.
Oh yeah.
My equal rights and my women rights.
Yeah, my women rights.
My equal rights. So strengthen their fanana. Police should know that women can actually beat up men as much as men can beat up women. I saw something, a clip on the for some reason, like, you know, my producers, they won't allow me to show you this one because the other woman ended up naked because she was wearing, you know, one of those body cut suits. Because she ended up like naked. But girl, she was blowing the fights, you know. The other man tried to come and she don't fight and I was like, oh my God, she's killing them, you know. Two strong men, not just like small men, strong men. And this woman is just like an ordinary man, so. And she was blowing some fists, throwing them, but you see, kicking them. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a woman doing that. And it's not acceptable. It doesn't matter. Violence is violence, you see. That is what I think, and I think my panel concurs, isn't it? But it's wrong. So, varume, musaro makanyara mzimba. Taurai. Taurai, kuti ndikurowa. Kutofona, kunuka kunetsa nechirungu. My man, she beat me silly. She slapped me silly. If you can tell them, I've just been slapped into another race. I was white, look now I'm black. I've been slapped silly. So those are the things that we need to deal with. And I think some of these things, it comes to like communication, like you were saying, and also respect. And listening to each other is part of communication, but I know people think communicating is just talking. Like, I always say to people, don't talk at someone, talk to someone. You don't talk at someone, because there's a difference. If you're talking to someone, you're having a conversation. If you're talking at someone, it's just you speaking. It's just you speaking, and there's nothing annoying as being talked at. And I think even if I was just talking like in an aggressive manner or whatever manner we're talking, a rude way, and you wouldn't be talking to me right now, we wouldn't be having this conversation, would we? So these are the things that we need to learn. We need to talk to each other, communicate, and we can avoid these things. And you can step away. And girls, I know with some of you, I don't know what he did to upset the woman, but ukaona mruma kufonera police tika wazvamburwa. I know, like this guy akataura kuti zvoni mukadzi akandirova ini ndakarohwa nemukadzi ende mukadzi handidi kana kumumura adichanda didi, like, you know, he was like, he didn't want to hear about it. So ukaona murume asvika pakudaroka arohwa, because these are the things. And the sad part is some people, they start these things about picking weapons. You get a weapon and you try to use it, and the man gets aggressive and angry. Next thing, that weapon, and they're using it on you. And when they use it on you, people are losing their lives. People are dying. So stop any form of violence. It starts from a slap. It starts from a pinch. It starts from a push. Just forget about it. Communicate. If you think, do what I do sometimes. When I think I'm getting upset, do not see 1, 2, 10. The end of 10, and when I'm talking, when I'm counting backwards, I'm walking backwards and I'm stepping backwards, and I find it very, very helpful. And we'll discuss more right after this commercial break.
In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today.
fire tiri kungoadhiraivha marange rover kuno.
In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today.
Right, welcome back to this segment of the Real Talk Show with Aunty Jenny. If you're just joining us, my name is Aunty Jenny, and my guest, my panel today, this is Priscilla and this is Melanie, and we are talking about real life issues that affect us in our daily lives. Don't get me wrong, I think so right now, but in pane vatinyorerawo, like kana mamsina kuzoona pane sisi vakachata just a few months ago, and then komana kuchecha itaroti no, no premarital sex and things like that. Uyakati ndabata kamene kuchechi and ndozo tikuchemera tese hanzi men of God, the one who knows God, the one who fears God. Andabata inini panapa kudarika mese and born again. So adaro vakaenda kwa honeymoon first, still angasikado batwa angasikado just say vakasika kudzuka kumba 2 months mnagara chingochema kuti chiri kuitika. So sikira when the confrontation happened, and the conversation imagine speaking Chinese, not Chinese food, right? So when it happened, Aunty, that's when she realized that in face akachekeresa ma organs akhe ndakaona kuti kuuraya munhu it wasn't a good thing. So he sold this thing to the devil. He sold his manhood to the devil. So akachekeresa his manhood. So there's nothing for him to use for sex. He can only have he has something. Like a baby size organ just for we only. So he was telling the woman, what else do you want? You have everything. Nice cars, nice house, everything, you know. But sex, dang. So this is what we're talking about right now. And also, we've touched about why is it men are being abused in our country? How can we change that? Because they're being like vakadzi vari kuti vakarowa vanofonera vanhu vakarowa varume ndi varifonera futi police murume ndiye osungwa then CRBO dzoka yakatsvuka mangwana just because warova munhu, you know, the UK law. And I think even states like the United States, Canada, New Zealand, imwe yacho inopisa Australia. Makambona CRBO yakabatana ndikwese kuno. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, if you commit a crime, you can't go and work in Australia, New Zealand, or Canada, and the US. Yes. So if you didn't know, now you know. Aunty Jenny knows it all. So, ona CRBO kudzoka yakatsuka, but hana mhosva yanenge apara, but mhosva yake ndeyekuti is just a man, and men are considered stronger than women. That's the other issue that we've touched on. So we asked you before the break, if you want to call in, you can actually call in live into the studio, because this is happening live. We are broadcasting live on Zimbo Live TV. So you can actually hear yourself on the telly, or you can tell your girls to tell your girls, and your girls and your girls, and the boys to tell your friends and friends and friends. Kuti ndakufona live ndosara na Jenny. Tinzoti nyaya yacho kamera sei nzwe yo voice rangu pa TV, you know. Things like that, you know. We need to hear your opinion. We really need to hear your honest opinion. We don't want it sugar-coated. This is real talk, live on Zimbo Live TV with Aunty Jenny and my good panel, Priscilla and Melanie, my beautiful panel. Strike a pose, girls. Strike a pose. Good. Right. So that's what we've covered so far. Right now, can we cover, like, can we talk about imports from Zimbabwe, and then born Zimbabwean, raised British. And that is our born Zimbabwean, born Zimbabwean, raised British.
Oh, British.
Mababata. Ona isitati tukuziya zviri kuitika. Ava vamwe ndovasingazii zviri kuitika kufamba sei. Yes, so born Zimbabwean, raised British. And then for paita poya nye marriage, right? Mkwasha anosvika Vasco votes. Say you know, stuff like that. Vasco na Papa, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, things like that. And some of them, they don't even consider the issue yellow boland is the dowry or bride price in English. Because bride price is very important in our cultures and in our African tradition. Because I used to think that it was like a Southern African thing. Because, you know, we were one country before. South Africa invited Rhodesian, Nyasaland. So if you're Zambian or Malawian, we have the same culture. We used to be one people. It was Rhodesian, Nyasaland. Only that we came from the most important part, which was Salisbury, Zimbabwe. No, I'm kidding. Just okay. So, you see, we share the same culture about Mombe, things like that. You know, you could be Ndebele, you could be Kalanga, you could be Shona, Ndawu, Kore, Zezuru. We share the same thing. Zulu, Toza, Basoto, same thing. I think Vegu Swaziland, they are still doing it like really. I once posted a picture per Facebook page like with all the girls, you know, the virgins, oh my God, That 40 head hits, I had to take it off. I was worried Zugabeg would kick me off the rip. She said, which place is this? I want to move to this place. I want to move to this country. And I'm like thinking, oh my God. Do you know that they need too many cattle and too many cows, these people? So yeah, the bride price, vanu, akachaikoshesa. Kana ndikataura nchidaroka, ndikutange ndiku force my words into people's mouths. What can we say? Some people no longer consider it like serious thing and they don't value it anymore. So it's just like people are just staying together. Saka which means that Boko Haram outside there, bring our girls back. For nobody bring back our girls. I don't know what happened to this. It was supposed to say bring back our girls. Anyway, next time. But you're Boko Haram if you haven't paid Lobola. So, what do you think about this? Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married. I've been married for 21 years.
Legally and...
legally and culturally and everything.
And you?
Yeah, I'm married as well.
You got 3 times married? This one is dangerous. This is the woman that Lionel Richie was talking about. You're once, twice, 3 times a lady. She got married 3 times. And you got married religious, culturally, and legally. Damn.
Yeah.
And I've also noticed that in the West Africa, I know West Africa and East Africa as well. I don't know about the Arab side of things, but because Africa is just divided into so many things, you know, we're the cradle of mankind. But the Bantu side of it, the dowry is very important. I know the Nigerians, they value the palm wine and whatever it is, you know. They do it their way, but it's similar to what we do. And we do Budzi, the Chimandamanda, Mombe Umai, and the Makani Zwanani, Matekenya Biodo, you know, things like that. Dingre areas, like in Munagatizira, Chakre Kuno.
Oh, Chakre Kuno.
You know, Trima get a utica, Dingre areas. The Chakre said, you know, right? So things like that, because you find when somebody moves in, normally like traditionally back in the day when we grew up in the 80s and the 90s, if somebody moves in with a man, it doesn't matter. Your friends. And boys will like the bachelors will stop asking you out, and then some of them we can do the panel beating. Panel beating, cohabitation. See, and there's once that happens, there are next stages that are expected in the African culture. You start living with someone's daughter. You don't go Boko Haram, no. You wouldn't send what do you call it, a ransom letter. I need this and that. No. You send a letter to let them know where the person is, so that they don't declare them as missing. So you send a letter with a bit of money. I don't know what Mazonia marry. Right, like which area of Zimbabwe are you? Are you the Zulu, Tonga? Damn, she's dangerous. And which part of... so that's good for now. And then I'll represent the people. Everyone. Vitori, the Zulu. I'll represent everyone, right? So, Kuma Vitori Muneta say,
izvo zvamatotara kuti haungagari nemwana wevanhu vanhu vasingazivi kuti chiri kuitika yaive nyaya yaitokosheswa zvikuru zvokuti vanhu vaitya kuti mwana wevanhu akarwara kana kuti pakawana chinoitika it becomes everyone's problem. When I say everyone's problem, I'm talking about your family. Iwo mukomana ngachigara nemwana wevanhu. So zvaitokosheswa kuti vanhu vakuru vaitokupromota kuti no, we need to let the family know kuti ndione mwana wevanhu tototsvaga kuti hanzi chitsvagirai kuno.
And that's something that, you know, even legally it works. You're notifying them that you have their child and they don't have to declare her missing, and you won't be charged for kidnapping as well.
Yeah.
Right. And kumazezuru?
ya zvakangofanana zvakangofanana izvozvo
Shongoresa.
Haugari
Nimone
nemunhu.
wani. Noisa tsvakirai kuno.
Tsvakirai
So is it the same thing like envelope nemari mukati?
I think so. I've never had to see the process or to observe any of them, but I think it's just about.
I'm not teasing.
Aiwa.
Makabuda msession. Amuna kuiswa maka attention seeker. Mukatononga attention seeker. Kwa makati zobide sei.
Inini because ndakarorwa ndatokunoku nakandisipo pandakarorwa.
Ava waste attention seeker. Apana akatizirera umana munomu.
Audience ameno.
No, the thing is, yeah, right. Yeah, I think it should be the same. Kuti Vanessa Mari envelope, like it's a formality. Kuti we have your person and stuff, and I think that money is meant kuti kana paine munhu anokwanisa kutera because mutaura tiri pakati pakati tinera zvakati you know, things like that. Tiri kwakati munhu zvaona pakati, then vanhu vanokwanisa kuti kuuya wosikuona kuti panotumwa tete kuti vaone kuti mwana aitese, because every time even anatete vachiziva kuti mwana aenda kupi akatizira panofanira kuita munhu anotera kunoona kuti is it real that this person is here where they say the person is, just to make sure, you know, to eliminate those things like reporting a person missing or charge them for kidnapping and stuff, because if that was the case, like in the UK, you'd be done for a lot of things. And the compensation for depression, the mom was depressed for 2 hours, that's £2,000.
Yeah.
The father was also depressed for 1.5 hours without knowing where the child is. That's £3,000 plus 1 Jeff Daniels, 1 John Walker, 1 C-Rock, and 1 Cavassier. See, that works. And the mom will need 2 bottles of wine, 1 red and 1 wine. Fine wine. The British are looking at me like, what is she on about? No, just kidding. So that's the process. So muno manje vanhu varongotorana and then they start living together, or you notice kuti mwana anonzi ari kuholiday akaenda kuholiday kumukomana wake and then they come back. I mean, what do you think of it personally?
Pakaoma ipapo. I think the thing is tiri kurarama environment very very challenging. Kuti tinofanirwa kunge tine tsika dzedu eZimbabweans then toadaptawo kuchiBritish chacho. So ipapapo apo pakati omei. Inini papo ndo pandowanza kuti kune shamwari dzangu dzina vanasikana ndiri vakomana.
But the boys are worse because you know kuti if they're going to take someone, because whoever they're going to be staying with you, you will know kuti I have to notify the parents. So apana better.
I think ipapo manje papo zviri kuitika ndezvokuti I think ukaona mwana ari kudziva ari kuatizira kuti ari kugara kuti ari kucohabita nemuZimbabwe pane matauriro antijeni. Zvino kana ari kugara like with our fellow maybe British community okuti they don't understand that process.
Maybe we should hear from one of the girls in the
I think we should.
I mean, what would you how would you take it if your daughter moves in with a boyfriend, with a guy? I mean, you know they've been dating, because I think in your culture you always let everybody know who you're dating, isn't it? Like the whole family knows what's going on.
Normally, yeah.
So I mean, how would you take it if your daughter says they're moving in with someone?
I mean, what was the scenario? Was there an age or a...
Like they're 18.
And they've been together a while?
Yeah?
That would be quite a normal thing here, I think.
Is it very normal?
If they were, if they've been together a while, they could move in together. Or I guess it's also the age they'd be going to university. So if they were going to be doing that, it's kind of the age
So
people leave home anyway.
So are you saying that it's totally acceptable for an 18-year-old to have sex outside wedlock?
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I was your race. I would have practiced a lot, you know. By the time I got married, I would have defensive driver's license. So, you see, that's the difference, you see. Because in our culture, from, like, I said I'll represent everyone from the ghetto, like my ghetto youth, you know. If somebody is 18, or let's say even 21, and still living with their parents, they are considered the same as the 12-year-old. You don't even talk about sex, that is forbidden and it's taboo, and you can never do that. I mean, I'm not saying people don't do it like these days, because we're trying to, like, this is what we're trying to solve right now and trying to figure out how we can handle the situation as Zimbabweans, as Africans. But it's totally unacceptable, and it will bring shame to your family as well. Because they'll be like, oh, that girl. That's the mother of that girl who just sleeps around, you know. Even if it's just one guy, it will be like you slept with the whole village. It's like you slept with the whole neighborhood, you see. I mean, I think even the guys concay, this one didn't know. This was one did it.
Yeah, that is true. But I think where we are getting it wrong is, like, I've heard you saying that there's a clash of cultures. The British has got a way of saying when people come over, you should integrate. By integrating is you are fitting into the society. But what we are doing is we are integrating and stealing what is not ours, you know, and living a life that is not ours as per the demands of our culture.
Yeah, but if someone who's listening at home right now would say, isn't it, there's a saying that says, when you go to the Romans, you do what the Romans do.
No, yes, when you go to the Romans, do what the Romans do. But the doing it is, according to our culture, is where it is wrong. You see, there's nothing wrong in allowing your daughter or your son seeing, you know, a girl, or the girl coming over to the house, or your daughter going over to the house of the boyfriend. There's nothing wrong, because, you know, there are two people who are in love,
and by going over, do you mean like staying?
Yeah, I mean, like you knowing that your daughter is going out, you know, with this person.
Okay, like with the courtship, knowledge of the acknowledging the courtship. Okay.
The same thing happening on the guy's side, but when it comes to the sleeping, you know, together, you know, technically it's something that should not happen, but it is happening, and sometimes, you know, you cannot control, you know, these young kids. Once, you know, once you know they're out of sight, you can never tell what, you know, they're doing. But I just think that it is something that is now the norm, that is now being practiced, and for as long as the two people were in love, for as long as they are true to each other, I would say, because there are so many, you know, complex, you know, there are so many difficult things, you know, to deal with. It's a complex situation, you know, to deal with. So at the end of the day, it's all about acceptance that this is what is happening. We just have to accept that it is happening. Because it is never going to stop, especially in this society whereby she can tell you, you know what, I'm moving out. And if she moves out, and if you try to block her, once she's on the phone, and once the police come, or the social services, and because we've got a tendency of wanting to maybe to discipline, and once you start doing that, then it's going to be taken over by the social services, or the girl is going to get her own place. So what's best? For her to get her own place, or to be living with you, but at the end of the day, trying to protect her, you know, in some way. So it's kind of difficult, really.
The legal age to be sexually active in the UK is 16.
Oh.
So it's kind of
Wow.
Okay, that's a good thing you say that, because my boy is 13 this year, and in 3 years' time we're moving back to Zimbabwe. I'm glad you said that. 3 years' time, boom, you don't see me here, moving back to Zimbabwe. Because 16?
Yeah.
Boy! In my book, if you want, you have the right to have sex. Your legal age to have sex will be when you can afford to put your own fuel in your own car, have a roof over your head on your own, feed yourself. That's when you can have that right. As long as you're under my roof and under my rules, that right is gone. you don't have it.
But then if they don't do it at home, they'll do it somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, that's where the problem is. You can control it in the house, but once they leave the house, you've got no control over what they do when they're out there.
That's why I said I'm moving back to Zimbabwe. That's the best to do with it, because But only on a serious note, I mean, we have girls that have grown here. They came when they were like 5. They came when they were like 10, and they're now like big girls. I think it's good because what I've noticed about the British society is a very accepting and tolerating society. Why I say so? Have you seen the Muslims and the Sikhs and the other, people from other cultures and from other ethnic groups? They stick to their rules. They stick to their moral values. They stick to their cultures. They don't disintegrate from their culture. They do what the Romans do, but they also keep like a certain part of their culture. Because there's nothing wrong with adopting cultures. That is how a society grows, isn't it? Otherwise, if we didn't do that, America, when Facebook started in America, the UK wouldn't have Facebook because it started in America, isn't it? Yes. So it's good to adopt certain things that are good and keep your values. And I think for Zimbabweans, I think we need to keep that culture. We need to stick to that culture. I know, because what I've noticed, I know so many Zimbabwean girls married to white British or black British, people who've never been in Africa. They've never been to Africa or anywhere else. They were born here, raised here, and they're still here. Yeah. The only time they've been like out of their town is when they come to London or somewhere, if you know what I mean. Those people, they've accepted the Zimbabwean culture, and you see they send the down how many times have you heard that this girl has been married, she's getting legally married, and the guy sent the money, everything, for the bride price and everything, you see. So I think the British culture is an accepted culture. So we should keep and maintain our own culture, because what I know, even if you are 50 and you're still living with your parents, you're still a child.
In our culture, yeah.
In our culture, yes. You're still a child. I think it's a good thing when it comes to paying rent and stuff. But, like I said before, there could be a conflict on interest when it comes to bodily needs, ages.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I think if it's Zimbabwean to Zimbabwean, then we need to, educate our kids, isn't it?
Definitely. I think, it boils down to us as parents. Because I personally think most of us who've been here for some time, we've neglected that part of our culture, of trying to explain to our kids when they're really young. Because I've noticed, even if you visit certain people, the children won't even have all those, the things, the way we were brought up, sitting down to ask Makadi, 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 and another of us knows no daddies. Konishona.
Oh, yeah.
So I think as parents, we are playing a part in letting our children run away from our culture. Yeah. So we should start from when they are young. Yes, exactly, they are living in a British environment.
That's the thing. I have Muslim friends, and some of them are very close to me. They're like family because I've watched them grow, these twins, and they don't speak English when they are at home.
Yes.
It's Urdu. As soon as they get to the door, it's Urdu. And the mom has been here since, I think, the late 60s, I think.
Wow.
And she can't speak, she speaks English, but you can tell she can't speak fluent English. She has that accent because they've stuck to their culture. I was laughing yesterday when we were talking about, because I was watching British Got Talent, and I saw this guy impersonate Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if you saw it. And I said, Arnold Schwarzenegger must have been in the US for like a long time for him to be a governor of a state, but he hasn't lost his accent. It means he speaks his European language that he speaks. I can't remember exactly. Was he Austrian? He's Austrian, and he speaks his mother language, fluently, which is very good. But he can also speak English in a fluent way, but with an accent. So I think that is something that we need to adopt as well. Is Zimbabwe.
But then it's not very easy. Well, we can, but
It's not easy, I know, but the best we can do is try.
yeah.
Because
yeah.
like the basic things, I know my kids, they can say basic stuff.
Yeah,
They can say
Yeah.
basic, they understand Shona
Yeah.
fluently.
yeah.
But speak
Speaking
fluently,
is-
they can't.
yeah.
Like speaking is something else because
Mm.
there's something. But they know if you say like, my oldest son, he used to pretend as if he doesn't hear what I'm saying until I started seeing him laughing at my jokes, and I noticed that when I say something, like when I'm upset, he understands so clearly what I'm saying in Shona, and I'm like, how come sometimes you pretend as if you don't
can't,
hear?
yeah.
You see what I mean? So they are so fluent. Don't let them fool you. Those people, they know. They know the language, but they can't speak fluently
Yeah.
only. But they can understand it clearly. So I think as parents, we should try, isn't it?
Yeah,
should, yeah.
well, we should.
We should try. If it's in Ndebele, teach them Ndebele. If it's Shona, teach them
How about
Shona.
those who are married, like the husband is Debele, the wife
Is
is
Shona.
Shona.
I
And
would
then
say,
the kids, would they not get confused, like which language they're...
I would say they should have both languages
Yeah.
because I am from an cultural marriage. Like I'm a product of an intercultural marriage, and I speak both languages.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be good.
So I
Yeah.
think it's good for the kids to speak both languages.
Both languages.
So because I remember when I had my son, they asked me what language you speak at home, and they actually encouraged me to speak
Your language.
my language. And I know my kids, until even the 4-year-old one, I know is fluent in Shona right now. But as soon as he starts going to school, that's
Yeah,
when you start
switch.
losing it, because you'll be spending more time at school and up at work. But that's the thing, you see, that's how they lose the fluency, but they can still understand, but they can't speak fluently. But I was one of the lucky few lucky ones that I am sort of fluent in the other language. I think I'm actually fluent in that language than Shona.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Shona, I don't think anyone is fluent in Shona anymore.
You think so?
Do you think it's Shona I'm not aware?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I was doing what I say. And I wouldn't date. Yeah? Is it say?
Yeah, so this say and say.
Say. Is it good enough? Po, and dreput. It has so no.
Hey, that's my favorite.
Zvakumberi.
Yeah,
Zvakumberi,
zvazvino.
zvazvino pane mumwe akazonditi aiwa handije ino hazvisiri zvenyu hazvisiri kumberi chete zvamukati semhodzi
You're becoming very creative.
Every day you hear a
There's
new
a word.
catchphrase and I'm like, oh my God, I could do with one for my shows, for my talk shows. And
Yeah.
I can't even think of one, and people are making up stories every day. And I'm like, oh God. And that's not Shona. And I've noticed with Shona, is there are people like, kind of, Zirukufamba say, people write Zikufamba say,
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Urukwenda kupi, ukwenda kupi. So it's slowly Shona is
Yeah.
dying,
Yeah,
So
it
you can't
is.
say you speak fluent Shona.
In that case, yeah.
Yeah.
My foyer chucho never.
Like you said you're Karanga, do you hear that accent?
No.
Wezhira taura zvakanaka.
Awa ndo bwerekete.
Aurekete tune.
Ah.
Ndatoita aurekete tune. So we should try. I think we should try hard to teach our children the language, and we should also try very hard to make sure that they have like the knowledge of our cultures as well, so that they know kuti avangotora mwana wemunhu achigara naye or angoita zvaanoda and they, because once they start doing these things, I've noticed some kids, because I think like people are not pane munhu andakambonetsa naye chitanzi sex is a very bad thing and the sex is evil. Ndikati, God, which verse says that? If you show me a verse that says sex is evil, then I'll agree with you. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's one massive gift from God to humankind.
Depends on
Like, if it's done the right way.
Yes.
And legally.
Yeah.
And legally. Usually, the devil anopindira pano. Satan anotaka kunokangatsa zvinhu zvakawanda. That's why people shouldn't demonize it. If you have a demonic mind and you do it in a demon way, then it's wrong. But if you do it the right way, that's the best thing that God gave us. That's like the one sacred gift that nobody can take away from us, because it promotes growth of the population, of people and everything. We all wouldn't be here. We're all the product of sex. So are we evil?
It's good exercise.
It's good
Oh,
when
yeah.
you say, there, we have someone who can exercise. You see? So it's something that I think is sacred, and I think that's why you see many religious people argue that a marriage should be only be called marriage when it's a man and a woman, because there's that sacred thing about marriage and people having kids and multiplying. Because I think in the Islam religion and the Christian religion and the Jewish religion, they say that. Even in the African traditional religion, they actually encourage that. Oh my God, in the African religion, African traditional religion, that's when they had more women, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Polygamy.
More children.
More children,
So they
Yeah.
can
and
tell
more
the
power,
land. Yeah,
and they
also
will
rima. Don't forget, we don't need a lot of women. Vakadzi.
I mean,
Look at
now
Charlie.
you remember kuadiko wakadzi 4455 mazwana. Atadzoka wabhoseka.
Somebody generation.
Atadzoka wabhoseka.
Hereditary.
No, because the thing about polygamy is just like the dressing these days. Have you noticed that we're going back to Nembe? Because we started off like wearing like big frocks covering up and everything, and women are not allowed dresses even in the UK, isn't it? Oh, and there's a lot of things that I think the suffragettes for. God bless those women. They suffered for us. Because there's so many things, even voting and stuff, women are not allowed, including like showing our limbs and stuff. We're not allowed to do that, isn't it? So these days, people are just wearing skirts that start exactly where they end. See, you see there and there, that's it, finish. The skirt is gone, and the top is there and there, and that's it, it's finished. And I saw something on is it Fashion Police? I think it's a page on Facebook, isn't it? I saw somebody like, I think they just had like something like duct tape there, and they had like something like, I don't know, like a belt, and that's it. They're going. So that's how marriage is happening as well. We went from polygamy to monogamy, isn't it? And then it's going back.
It's going back, but maybe.
But the way it's going,
officialized.
yes, these days it's not official now.
Small house.
Small, like you find out when the man dies,
No.
do that like 15 women in the neighborhood. When people were talking about child spacing and stuff, they were talking of contraception, and you took it wrong. Started spacing the women. One in Botswana, one in South Africa, one, and then child spacing. There was a lot of space between the women and the kids. That's what they think. So
But,
that's
I think, these days, why it's no longer that, because women now, they are now being violent towards the other person. So you'd rather have that other person on the sideline without the woman knowing, your first wife knowing that you're kicking it with this person, because once this person is known, boy, you're always going to break loose. And
that's another thing. Women should stop fighting over men.
I don't know why they do that.
I know. I'm
You know
too
what I
pride.
mean?
Woman, I'm too cute to have a cat fight. Please. Fight for who? A man. This whole room is full of men. Why fight for men? One born every day. What for? People that should stop. That should stop. And also to the men who are doing this, but claim what is on this our culture, you are lying. Our culture, especially our Zimbabwean culture, the wife is the one who chooses the second. The first wife is the one who chooses the second wife and blesses that marriage. Did you know that?
I know that, but me, I'll get someone who I'll just make sure that I'm always on top of her.
I'll just say,
Competition.
I'll just say, I mean, right, Muripanapa, Mangaranapa, okay, fine. Right, enyuma kumbavu,
Exactly.
right, ndosa tukirana pano. And then when the husband goes there for like sex or something, she won't open the leg. She'll be like,
My
what?
guru, no.
She can't say that because Ndomura.
My guru said no.
My guru said no. So ndotofanira kuti unge ndichotsvaga wandofarira, but anyway, things like that should stop. Anyway, there's so many things to worry about these days. Everyone's having like multiple sex partners, and pregnancy and venereal diseases, and the list of your problems. There is more to it. It's causing a lot of stress. Think of the children that you're bringing into your life that don't have a father all the time. You know, single mothers, they struggle. Why have more single mothers? That's not good. That's not good. So I guess something is wrong with our lines, I think, because nobody called in to say whatever. So we can actually sum up the show, isn't it? And call it a day. And so far, what do you want to say to the viewers? Like,
I just wanted to say, you know, like tataura nyaya dzakawanda panapa, tataura nyaya dzemarriage, tataura nyaya domestic violence, tikataura nyaya dzedu dzeculture idzi. I think nekuti tiri kuno isu vari kuno ku-UK kana kunze kwenyika zvireve kuti tochirasa unhu hwedu nekuti taakuengland kana kuti taakuamerica kana kuaustralia. I think culture yedu ndo inotidefina isu semazimbabweans, and we should try and stick to that. Even lobola riyari rakakosha, even if it's 5p.
And is it? It's like a token of appreciation.
Exactly, symbolism yedu yatisairasi.
And I think vasikana vanofunga kuti izvo, because some women think kuti izvo you're being bought ka.
No. Shame sorrow. Maybe just time we show you kutaura lobola chete. And what do you think about the whole show, like what we've covered so far?
Well, just to add to what she said, maybe kune those who were born here, who grew up here, to follow the procedures like cultural, you know, kurorwawo zvakanaka maringa eiendeswe and everything, not kuti zvamave muno muEngland mucharorwa chichi, you know, things should be done the right way. And also kudzidzisa vana shona, you know, as much as it might not be easy, but let's try kudzidzisa vana, you know, unhu muno munyika mudiaspora nokuti vanokurawo vachiziva. So I think that's basically about it. And just to touch on abuse as well, you know, kuvarumo as well, if the women are abusing you, like you were saying, you know, report as well. And womukadzi wosangokwarire mukati uri mumba, you know, I think
you speak out.
Yeah, speak out. Yeah, so that's all I want to say about today's.
You know what? I just thought of something before we go. How much do you know about our Zim celebrities?
Wow, not much. Depend on what ndiani. Kastongoziva Aunty Jenny.
Yo, I'm not a celebrity.
Chabuda zvechivitori.
No, I'm not a celebrity. Like I'm talking right now. There's pane show yakaitwa like the summer fiesta.
Okay.
And I actually applaud the organizers for that. The promoters, they did a very, very good job. I got to meet all the guys, the 7 guys. You know,
Oh, okay.
Then, but right now I feel bad I really feel bad saying this, like on TV, but pane nyaya yakasvika vachidzokera kumba pakabuda nyaya ya Soldier Love munomuziva Chanta Changara. That's a really sad story because something happened kwaari anga akasainirana something na manager wake, and then from the grapevine ndokunzwa like some people who I believe they have like a very worth of knowledge with what is going on. But the deal wasn't a good, like a contract. It seemed like the example that was given was like, we use Kalanga Chitora about 90%.
Wow.
And the Soldier Love Achwana 10%. But then ndazonzwa ndaida nemukadzi wangu. Saka mukadzi wangu akaramba chichichi, you know, things like that, because they're like at the moment Soldier Love akawin an award, and I win an award, and mukadzi wakanonzi Bountilisa.
Okay.
They're like the David Portion Becks of the moment with Zim.
Okay.
Can I say kuti inonzi Kanye and inonzi Kimye West. Zimbabwe, yes. So by the way, congratulations, Kanye West and Kardashian. Kim Kardashian. It's not nice. But he didn't call me. I don't know what's wrong with you. ndozvinonetsaka kuona pasina vatete panonetsa. So that's the thing. I'm really worried about him, you see, because just last night I was being told, like, you talk to these guys, you Aunty. Uyu futi angari drunk pakaficha kuti. So I'm thinking maybe they should have like an agency irikurana in a watchdog beside and they need people like who can help them in community, because the guy is gifted, don't get me wrong, and I love his music, but if he's gonna sign a contract he gets 10% and the 90% goes to the manager, I mean, what do you think of that? It's too much. It's like he's working for the agent. But then there's an argument point of times I gave him the hunter and I gave him the house. I mean, what do you think about that? Because you would think those are the things that are coming with the territory, isn't it? With the price. Because when you sign a deal, I know most people get a house, even in football, isn't it? When you sign a contract, you get a house, you get a car, something like that. As part of the contract. So you think the hammer and the house was part of the contract, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, but maybe what you can do is to encourage them as well to seek legal
advice. Yes.
Rather than just, because sometimes some deals look good
on paper,
and by the time you're not so we could just encourage our people to say maybe they need to seek legal advice or people who can help them. Even did a contract out, contract in Priscilla. Because nina handisi lawyer saka handizivi ndiri nesi saka handisivi zveloizvi saka
munoziva legal side renesi
ndipin number isaende
kuti pin number isaende. Right, so it's just something like to all the people out there because I know my lawyers, you do pro bono work. Help these guys because they are like, we need music industry and you can actually help these people. I know you can do it. You can spare a few hours or an hour, even an hour a week, just to help these guys about rights, contracts. And you guys, my brothers, I know you're doing your thing, but I think you should also seek second opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. If I see something wrong, that's the thing. I think almost anyone in the UK understands the compensation culture and they understand my contracts and stuff, don't just sign anything, you see. So if you're not sure about the fine print, seek second opinion or inbox me, Aunty Jenny. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you, does this look good or it looks bad? Because some of the clauses, my words in innuendos, they sound like they're in your favor when they're actually in your promoter's favor. So please seek second opinion. Look, we don't want to see talent funke love, soldier love going to waste. We don't want that. He's really good. He's really, really good. He's been on the scene for less than a year and he's getting an award. He's quite good. So that's what we want in Zimbabwe. We want to encourage artists and even the younger ones who are coming up, they can actually feel good, okay, I can actually do this, and there is a future in this, because that's pure talent.
It is.
Have you ever heard him speak? Oh my God, they call him the chanter.
Okay.
He rhymes. Everything he says is rhymes. Wow. It rhymes. So he was saying, this other day, I was talking about Anzi muno mutantaskava ichitaura zvekuti Anzi hallelujah. And I'm like, oh my God, how fast he thinks of it, you see. So that's a gift that we should embrace. That's a talent that we should embrace. Please help these guys. Help them. So this is enough for today. And that will be, thank you so much for coming to join us. And I hope to see you next time. And thank you so much to the audience. And thank you to the production team, my producers, and everyone who were helping. I know someone is like, can you see me? I see you, Aunty. Sound check. Thank you so much. So, just to sum up everything that we spoke about today, life irritations, they do exist in our lives, and some of them, they're like horror movies, but they are real and it's happening. And many people, Thomas, these things, they actually happen, because there are things that have happened to me that I never thought would happen in life to anyone, or they existed at all, and those things actually happen in people's lives. All I can tell you is munokwanisa kudzidza munhu wanenge uchidanana naye before marorana. Unyazoziva kuti munhu iye akaita sei, like vamwe vanoti rorana vematongo. It doesn't necessarily mean kuti rora hama yako, but it's getting to know the person. Know the person, know their family, know their backgrounds, and know what's happening, where their money is coming from. So that we don't want that. And please, a lesson from that is you should work hard for your money. Work hard for your cash. It doesn't matter. It can take you a year, 2 years, 3 years. Just keep on trying and work hard. And my parents, let's try to maintain culture. Let's not disintegrate from our African culture. I know many cultures, they actually keep their cultures. Kana chita zotenga chita mdzimba medu kana munyika matiri kugara, be it Australia, New Zealand, USA, UK, trukita zotenga tichiita. And the music, please seek legal advice. Anyone listening right now, be it you, no matter what field you are, if you're signing something, read first, read the small print. If you don't know what's happening, seek second opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. Until next time, thank you so much, and God bless.
In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today. In every industry, there is always one, the company that makes the quantum leaps, innovating, not duplicating, leading, not following. And in the world of Zimbabwean immigration law, that company is Njomani Law. Are you worried about every knock on the door? Are you worried that you will be sent back to Zimbabwe? Then speak to Njomani Law. They are Zimbabwean immigration law specialists. Call the number on the screen to book your appointment today.